Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here to wrap up the triathlon, where we released 28 videos during the month of February. While we didn't get one up on the 26th, we got two up on the 27th, and today, the 28th, we are going to be uploading one more. And this video, I thought I would conduct a discussion. I'm looking to get as much done before my roommate gets in here. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was something that I watched on J.D. Archer, or from J.D.'s Journeys channel. He once made a statement about how we need to encourage our youth to read more, and specifically encourage them to read fiction. Fiction, chapter book, novels, which I'm going to sort this out into two ideas. The first one is a quick one. I agree with him 110% that we need to encourage our youth to read physical books. We need to encourage them to read, and specifically encourage them to read and appreciate physical books, because there's nothing like a physical book, because once something is in its physical form, it is there, it is confirmed, and when you're purchasing it, it is yours. I was talking to somebody who said that when you have a physical book, you own the physical book. When you have an ebook, you own the rights to read it. You don't own the book itself, but the ability to read, which that ability can be taken away from you if they find it fit. Because an electronic is not necessarily a perpetual thing. The next point that was made about the statement was how we should encourage our youth to read fiction, chapter books, novels, things of that nature, which, while it's definitely ideal to get them to read an actual book as opposed to another form of media like a magazine. Oh, there's my roommate. I definitely feel that I would have to disagree with the idea of specifically requiring that they read fiction. I think that a good argument was made about how fiction helps people develop empathy, but I feel that any mode of reading, regardless of the topic, I think you can be as empathetic for someone like Peter Rabbit as you would for a piece about the manatees that are losing their lives because of human practices, and of presidents that died prematurely because of assassination. I think that the most important thing about reading is that people are actually reading. If we require them to read a specific genre or a specific area, that's going to discourage them from doing that, because I feel that the more that we make someone do something and specify what it is that they're doing, the less enthusiastic they become about engaging in the activity of reading books. I do feel that I think that the best way to get people into reading is to let them choose what they want to read, what it is that interests them. For instance, if somebody's interested in baseball, have them read a book about baseball, whether it be a fictional account or a baseball statistical book or a biography of a certain baseball player or baseball team or Major League Baseball in general. I think that these will encourage people and our youth to get even further into reading, whether it be in the area of baseball or it can simply become an outlet to something even bigger. I'll take my own experiences as an example. When I was in 4th grade and I first started going to private school, there was a novel reading class where we read novels and did reports on them. I wasn't such a fan of the class because there was a lot of material that I was not fond of. Looking back, I felt that some of the material that we went over was quite interesting. I especially was really enthusiastic, even at that time as a 5th grader, when we read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But I was more into reading about things that I was interested in, like the presidents and U.S. states, and I even like going through an encyclopedia or a dictionary every now and then. I would say that it was in high school when I really started getting into reading fiction and started expanding on my collection of novels. I would say 7th grade was really helpful when I started beginning to appreciate short stories and plays. I specifically really liked reading Edgar Allan Poe at that age. But it was just something that I had to work myself into, and I felt that not going with the idea of being forced to read in a specific area that adults may have wanted me to really made me want to get into reading at the broader range. Even poetry was something that I needed to work into. It wasn't until 5 years ago when we went over Howl that I realized that poetry was such a broad horizon that it had endless possibilities. There was just so much that can be said through poetry that I really got into it at that time. So I think that when all is said and done, I definitely feel that we need to encourage our youth to read, and we need to encourage them to read physical books. But I also feel that we need to encourage our youth to start out by reading what they want to read so that they begin to admire and appreciate the written work in general and the physical book itself. From there, it only becomes a rabbit hole for bigger and better things, and I think that that is the most important thing about the art of written work. Thank you for tuning into this video, and thank you for following along with our triathlon. We definitely have many more videos to come in the month of March. We have more discussions that will continue with our 6th season. We're also wrapping up our 7th season and getting ready for our 8th season. 7th season should be premiering in May, and then season 8, when we finish filming, should follow not too far behind in September. Thank you again, and for now and as always, I encourage you to keep reading.